I decided to do a digger because that's just kind of style of bike that's kind of bike I grew up liking. And I mean, every bike I've done almost has been a digger, except the cafe bike I'm working on now. The KZ1000 idea came from I just want to do something a little bigger than the CB750s I've always done. And a buddy of mine happened to find this one down the street for $200 on the side of somebody's shop. So it was just opportunity. You know, it was a good deal. And the bike I wanted, a lot more power than CB750. They actually handle really good, bikes like this, if you get the rake and trail and everything set up right. I've ridden this one on, I just got back a couple weeks ago, 850-mile trip on it, and it did fine, except for having to stop at every gas station. It was perfect. My name is Duane Ballard, Duane Ballard Custom Leather. We're in Lake Elsinore, California, my garage, and this is my bike I built for Born Free 5. It's an 81 KZ1000 police bike that I turned into a digger. Me and my friends did everything on the bike, just about here in the garage. The seat I did, it's just out of calfskin leather, kind of a quickie. I never go nuts on my seats. The body work was all done here at a 16 gauge, just bent over a table with C-clamps, super simple. The wheels are off an 85th anniversary Harley. That's the only Harley parts on it. I just liked them because they're a 1 year only wheel and real angular like the rest of the bike. Paint was done by Pete Finland, Hot Dog. He had painted everything at West Coast Choppers for years. And it's all House of Color paint. I just basically told him I wanted it to look like an 80s race car, and he did his thing. Frame is by Spitfire Motorcycles in Rancho Cucamonga, my buddy Paul Cavallo. The girder, again, was done by my buddy Paul Cavallo at Spitfire Motorcycles out here in Rancho Cucamonga. And it's 10 over, looks a little longer on this bike because it's goosenecked. And once him and his guys had the frame done, we brought the wheels down and he figured out exactly the length and everything I would need to get the trail I wanted. And it actually, you can turn it around, do a U-turn in a 2-lane street with it, which seems kind of unbelievable, but it'll do it. And it rides really, really good. My last bike had a Springer on it. I just didn't like how it felt, just bouncy and weird. The girders ride almost like a hydraulic front end to me. The tank, me and my buddy Magoo were messing around, like with all my bikes, make cardboard patterns, and we had it facing the other way. And we went in and had dinner and came back out and said it just kind of looks like every other Prism tank. It's been done a million times. So screwing around, I put it on there backwards and actually liked it. So we left it backwards and then just added these pieces down here to hold a little more gas because I knew the motor would, like gas. So that ended up good deal. It's wide like the motor, looked different than just your typical Prism tank. The paint that Pete did, he just went nuts with like all the 80s stuff, the splashes and like the Ferrari Testarossa scoops. The bottom of the tank has like blurry checkerboard on it, like an old set of, an old pair of Vans. So, but he made it blurry like it's moving. He also did like, the old mini truck and like dry brush pinstriping on it. He did it exactly what I was thinking. It's like he's a mind reader. Bars were made up when I was at Cole Foster's house for the weekend. Are made out of stainless. I use stainless when I can because it's just easy. You polish it once, never have to worry about it again. Me and my buddy Magoo again were up at Cole's for a weekend. Cole was just showing us how to do a bunch of different stuff, and we made the bars out of some stainless he had laying around. He showed me how to lay it out and get the pullback and everything like I wanted because he had built the bars for me years ago on my white Honda. I've never had a bike or at least a custom bike with a speedometer or anything. So I had talked to the guys at Dakota Digital and they sent this out, and it's got a sensor that counts bolt heads as they zip by on the rear sprocket. And this is a speedometer, odometer, attack, turn signal indicator, oil pressure warning light. It's everything you would see on a modern motorcycle all built into this tiny gauge, and it's all hooked up and works with this thing. The grips I used are from Biltwell. The hand controls and the mirrors are Joker Machine. The calipers, just a cheap custom chrome deal made for, I believe, 80s Sportsters. And the rotors are stainless steel, floating like racing rotors from EBC out of England. The engine is the original 81 KZ1000 police motor. It's the last year they did the J motors. All the machine work and everything was done by APE. It's got a 1075 big bore kit in it, 11.5 to 1 pistons. The heads have been ported. It's got APE cams in it. The crankshaft's been welded. I mean, it's all brand new, everything inside. It's got a Dyna ignition in it, Dyna S, that I've used in everything. The carbs are Key and CR road race carbs from Sudco, or CR34s. The exhaust was made out of 2 Biltwell kits that are mainly for Harleys to build exhaust with, but I've had no problem doing CB and this KZ1000 exhaust with them. And mounted on the CR carbs are K&N air filters. I've used them for everything. The headlights were an eBay find. They're old Sears driving lights from the 70s. They were still in the boxes. I'd been following them on eBay for like 6 months. They kept vanishing and then being relisted. The price would be a little lower, and it finally got low enough to where I finally grabbed them. I like them. They've got real glass lenses in them and the little like atomic symbol in the middle of them. Kind of goofy space shit. I'm into the sci-fi thing, so I had to have them for this. All the electrics in the bike are like Rick's Motorsports electronics, and these are just aftermarket off-road waterproof switches. That one's just the regular headlight. That one turns on the second one. The batteries from Throttle X. The battery box was made by Chassis Design Company. The rear brake bracket setup is something that a buddy of mine at Mad Jap Choppers came up with, and I wanted to use it on this. All I did was basically cut holes in his bracket. It's basically just how he makes it. With brake stop and everything. They're front brakes off a GSXR, so it's 8 pistons in the back, with another EBC stainless steel floating rotor. Struts I came up with, they're stainless. I just didn't have a way to do the cutout, so I took the pieces down to my buddy's shop, Spitfire. Paul again saved me, with a mill, and he cut the holes for me so that I could put the stainless steel screen behind it. Turn signals, which I've also never had on a bike, but I figured, I'd go ahead and do it on this. I liked how they looked. Our Joker machine also.